Oops, lost connection. Don't say that.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Let's keep it moving. It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday on Bears on Tracks, brought to you by Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Brandon Trax Hyatt, and today I've got my guy, KB, in the building. KB, how you doing, bro?
Man, what it do, Tracks, man? We ain't here on a Tuesday night talking football. You know your boy doing good, man. How we looking out your way, man?
We're good, man. It's starting to cool down a little bit. It's like freaking 95 out. That's all. It's 95. If anybody wants to know what 95 feels like with like 85% humidity, just go ahead and turn your oven all the way up and shove your head in there and let it marinate all day while you're working at a steel mill. And that's how you feel, bro. But
Oh,
no, we're not.
yeah.
Hey, I don't need to tell a firefighter how hot it is, right, bro?
Hey, man, listen, my man. When I say anybody can tell me how hot it is, and I'm a hero. Listen, I'm not finna judge. I'm not finna talk no crap about it. Listen, I believe you if you tell me it's hot. You feel me?
You said I ain't gonna be no turkey.
Got
Yeah.
damn right.
Hey, listen. So today's topic, um, by the way, brought to you by El Bandito Yankee Tequila, smooth blue agave, feels really good and cool as the other side of the pillow, man. It's so good. It's so good. Go check it out, man, and drink responsibly. But listen, so we are talking today about practice.
Practice?
We're talking about practice, bro.
You
No,
mean
man.
practice?
Dude, we cannot, what do you call it? We can't get enough of it, honestly. I mean, it's to the point now where, like, you know, it's like Christmas. It's past Christmas Day. We're opening up our presents, and you know, for a little while, the parents were like, "Listen, I know you just got your Christmas toys, but you can't really mess around for about, you know, 2, 3, 4 months, and then you can really start playing with them." So now this is what's going on. You know, you can't be like crazy with them because they're brand new. You know, you don't want to get any scratches on them or nothing like that. So you can't really go full throttle. Maybe after the first scratch or so, then you can really, you know, cut loose and really get into it and, you know, start being destructive and all that kind of stuff. You know, full contact with them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So now it's starting to get a little bit like that. You know, we got the pads on, so we can get a little crazy, but not, you know, completely crazy. And by the way, DJ Moore, I love the energy. I love the passion, my man. But let's take it a little easy because after you made that save, you know, catch for Caleb over on the left side of the field there, you know, I was a little worried about that leg, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, he did kind of land on it kind of awkwardly, didn't he? I remember seeing that clip
Yeah.
now. Well,
Yeah.
if I recall that right, they even asked him about it when they came up for the presser, asked him how he felt, and asked him how he was doing on it. He said he was doing good. So
No, I
I,
mean,
I mean,
listen, Caleb looks good, man. Caleb looks good. The receivers are making him look better. We'll get
absolutely.
into about one that, you know, struggled, and I do like the fact that what we've got in the building is really helping him, hold him accountable, and that's Luther Burden. But let's not get into that just yet. Let's not crack that layer of the onion. Let's keep it doing. How you doing? Keep it moving. So Caleb looks good. He's starting to string together a few good practices. I would say I'd like to see him complete a full practice, darn near perfect practice, and then string together some, good practices. He's going to have some setbacks, but really to see him come alive, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. The way I've been looking at it, man, I've been trying to be the optimist, looking at it from with rose-colored glasses, if you will. It's
Yeah.
your first stint in the offense, so I expect the bumps and bruises in the beginning. It's to me, it's better to hear about them now than to us have to worry about them during week one, where it looks like it's totally too much for him to handle, or he's still looking lost out there, not being able to get guys where they're at, or what I'm saying, just generally not being in control. So I I tempered a little bit of the expectations, hearing how defense had won the first day, and how defense seemed to be a little bit of a leg up, if you will. I was like, all right, man, look, that's okay for right now. Because to me, there's gonna become a point where it becomes the offense is starting to jump out a little bit, and it's starting to seem like that's what we're getting, which is already shocking, and we're only what, 5 practices in.
Well, yeah,
So
5.
I'm absolutely looking for that day.
Yeah. Well, so what it is we already knew that the defense, was galvanized. They've had more time, more repetitions leading to retention. You had more of a turnover in
Absolutely.
the side of the ball than defense. So a lot of them guys are already together, gelled, and then you got some veterans coming in, right, because of the trades and everything and all of that,
Yep.
free agency. So now, of course, you got some rookies, but for the most part, you wanted to make sure that the maturation was on the defensive side of the ball, and then the offense caught up. So with that being said, man, yeah, they're starting to catch up. They're starting to gel, and Ben's holding them accountable. So, like DJ Moore said on that, what do you call it? That interview he had today earlier, he basically was like, here's the deal. If you miss the ball, or you mess up your route, if you're supposed to go here, but then you go there, or it's a 2 count, but, you go on 1, or however, it may, end up, if you mess up on that, Ben's going to get on you, and it's going to feel like forever before you get out to the field again. So he's not going to allow this sorts of things to happen, and it don't matter whether you're first rounder, second rounder, or undrafted free agent, or even a veteran. He's going to call you out on the carpet, and I don't care if last year you were team captain. It don't matter who it is, whether you're a fan favorite or whatever. He's going to sit you out, and that's what's going on. So, DJ said that, and I thought that was real refreshing. I talked to you earlier today, and I'd like you to fill everybody in a little bit, all the folks at home, what you feel about all this stuff going on.
Yeah. So this is how I feel. It was something that was said in previous regimes, and you just wanted it to be what the actual case was, but you always kind of got the feeling that it wasn't. No one is above that C. That C that's on the side of that helmet. Nobody is better than that C. Every coaching staff says we'll hold somebody to that accountability, that level of accountability, and never does. You've seen the favorites. Oh, let's put this guy here because we paid him money, but this player behind him seems to be the better player. Why isn't he starting? So it's politics going on. You're putting money and players above that C. To see this coaching staff sit there and you chew a rookie out because he's having mental mistakes. Hey,
Yeah.
we don't do that here. That's not tolerated anymore. You might be just getting here, And you might have heard how things were handled back in the day with this team. We're not doing that here now. You have a mistake,
Right.
you gonna come to the side. We're gonna get that figured out. And then when it's time, you get your butt back in there and you don't make that same mistake. So to me, that's huge. And to know that nobody's above that. You heard in the first couple practices how Ben Johnson was getting after Caleb. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't the entire first team offense kicked out of a drill because you're not executing the way you need to execute. So come sit to the side. Let's figure this out. Let's bring these other guys in and let them show you what they should be doing, because they're chasing starting positions. They're in a competition. They see what you're doing. They see the mess ups. Okay, so now they know coming in, hey, we can't make that same mistake. How's that make you feel as a starter?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
So I'm absolutely all for it. That's coaching. That's the coaching I've grown up with. You know what I'm saying? Since being a elementary school all the way up until college. That's the coaching I know. That's the coaching I felt that it should have always been, and I don't think we've always had that.
No, and you know what? You're 100% right, and I think there's somewhat of a reason to it too. You spell out a little nepotism, whether it be by contract design or jersey sales, whatever it is, the case may be. We may never know. It might be a little bit of everything.
Right.
It might be a couple. However, whatever it is, it was very unsatisfactory. It wasn't right. But to the point of, one thing I did notice, even in the Urlacher Briggs area, one of them boys go down, it's over.
Yeah.
There's a big gap there. There's a big
gap.
Even when it came time for the the changing of the guard, and you got to have someone underneath him to groom and to get him into that position, there's a huge gap there. Well, now, hey, guess what? The power is in your favor. The depth chart is actually deep. So if you have to set someone out because of a discipline issue to get their attention, to get them to focus, to get them to be like, hey, you're in the building now, the bright lights are on, it's you're accountable, to earn that money, to earn that check, to earn that jersey, that starting spot, for this city, for this team, for you. And the whole thing of it is now there's so many people, so many different positions. We're deep. So if a receiver, if a running back, if a quarterback, if an offensive lineman, defensive back, I mean, I named all the damn positions just about, and if one of them, positions, one of the players in the position needs to get their head on straight, and the coach needs to hold them accountable, guess what? The odds are in his favor that it's going to happen. Before, well, I sure would like to do something, but we really can't afford to, so we're just going to go ahead and hope this fixes itself.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad we're in a position where we're at. I really am, KB. I think things are only going to go up and look better from here, brother. I really do.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, it's one thing I've always harped on, man, and it's something that I feel that is true all the way to this day. Look at this guy.
What's up?
What up, AC?
The face of the franchise.
What's going on, fellas? Sorry it took me a little bit of maneuvering to get in tonight.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, I think the email is what works best for a lot of people. So, what we do here at Chicago Sports Podcast, just so you know, a little behind the scenes, we try to leave you a little magic, you know what I'm saying? Don't want to give you all the 11 herbs and spices, but what happens is we'll send a message through, Facebook Messenger. Sometimes that works for folks. Sometimes just a text will work, and a lot of people prefer the email system. So we tried two, And now on the 3rd, we got AC in the building. But that's not why people are here. They're here to listen, to hear about Bears. And now it appears that AC is the face of the franchise. He's the only one that could to be in front of the curtain. Me and KB are behind the curtain tonight. So
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard what was going on, brother, but basically what we're talking about is accountability, the change, the culture, and all of that, and how the depth of the roster is allowing Ben Johnson to do what he needs to do and hold these guys accountable. And like DJ Moore was saying, you know, even from the early onset of just a few, you know, practices, training camp, 6-1 in the building, now, you know, got the pads on, right? And here's the deal. He said early on he's changing that right now by holding guys accountable. The first time that you make a mistake, it feels like forever before he lets you back in the game. So you don't want to make that mistake. Now, 2 times, it could get, you know, even worse. But so what are your thoughts about all this, AC? I know you keep up with all of it. So what are your thoughts,
Yeah,
my man?
I listened to ESPN 1000 quite a bit, and they had his press conference on this morning. So I heard Ben Johnson talking before practice, and he talked a little bit about. I know we're talking about Luther Burden in general, probably. He talked a little bit about how he's kind of behind, which is expected. I mean, this was his second practice of the offseason. And I know it came out that he kind of got pulled out of practice earlier today, but if we remember correctly, about a week ago when practice started, the whole first team offense was pulled off. So it's kind of expected for him to be a little behind, but I love that we have accountability. We've asked for accountability, and Eberflus swore we were getting accountability. Now we're really seeing it, fellas, and I couldn't be happier. I even offense and on defense. I mean, we're hearing about these guys doing up downs, and they talked to Kyler Gordon about the physicality of the defense, and he said it's the practice has never been like this, you know. So I'm loving the accountability on both sides of the ball.
Who was it the other day that said that they actually had to get in shape to do up downs because they couldn't remember if the last time they did an up down or something?
TJ Edwards.
It was crazy.
TJ Edwards. Yes.
TJ, yeah. There you go, man. You're sharp as a whip right
Hey,
there.
man. I remember it because I felt the same way he felt. I was like, brother, if I was out there doing up down, I'm gonna pace myself too. Hey, man, look at Grady Jarrett. See how fast he doing them? I'm about to do him as fast as Grady Jarrett.
Yeah. There's my guy. He's the one that's he's my veteran. I'm following his
Yep.
lead. So no, but seriously, yeah, you brought up a good point, and that's exactly where we're steering with it. This isn't so much of a Luther Burden type deal as much as, you know, how they are putting together, you know, this culture, putting together the standard. And here's the deal. Let's say we get up 3-4 games and we're cruising and we're doing really good, right? Now all of a sudden somebody makes a mistake, we're going to let it slide? No, absolutely not. The culture is already installed at the very beginning stages, you know, and that's kind of, you know, how it is. Let's go all the way back. Let's keep it simple. That's exactly how it is in school. You know, when you go to school, you're in the first grade, second grade, whatever. They teach you right away. Hey, listen, when the bell rings, it's time to get your butt off the, you know, out of the recess and back into the classroom. You know what I'm saying? Raise your hand. All this kind of stuff. That's what he's doing right now. I mean, we just keep it that simple. Or at work, you know, you got break, 15-minute break, half-hour lunch, whatever it is. These simple things matter, and they're doing this right now at an early level. So I feel when we win games in a row, 4 games in a row, early, right out the gate, whatever the case may be, and now all of a sudden we start to lose, we're not going to let stuff slide. We're going to hammer down and make those, you know, corrective course decisions right off the rip, and not be like, oh, it's okay. You know, we're not allowing that to happen right off the way. It's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's important. That's important, man, because it doesn't matter how big or small you are or what school you came from or whether you're a vet or not. I'll say it again. You are going to be held accountable if you wear a Bears jersey and you're playing for Ben Johnson's team.
And that's what we should expect. I mean, Brandon, Trax, you're a military veteran like myself, and I'm sure you remember back in boot camp or basic training, if they find a wall locker unsecured, the whole freaking unit gets punished for that. So it kind of feels like that to me. The whole team doing up downs or the whole team getting pulled off if they're not coming out of the huddle right. They're fixing it immediately right out of the huddle. It's not, well, let's wait and see how we do this. And I heard them talking on the radio today. They were saying that Trestman used to say, okay, defense, I know you guys know how to defend this, but don't bat the ball down. Like, we want to see this play out. I don't think that's going on with this coaching staff. It sounds like it's very competitive on both sides too.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely competitive on both sides, and everybody's, hey, listen, here's another side. What about the third side? What about the special teams? You saw Richard Hightower chime in, and he said, hey, listen, I'm not going to allow any of this powder puffness, this softness in the building, for lack of a better word. But, and Ben Johnson, he sure as heck ain't going to let it happen. And I ain't going to let it happen on my watch. You give me everything, or, you ain't going to be here much longer as a Chicago Bear. And I'm like, bro, that special teams, like, a lot of people feel like that's your last chance university to get on the team, or if you didn't make it, starting squad for offense or defense, you get that. Well, guess what? Richard Hightower's holding the same accountability. He said, no. Everybody, don't matter where you're at, even on my, you're going to be held accountable. I love it, bro. I love it. I think it's good. I think it's refreshing. And honestly, I feel like these guys want that. I feel like they crave that because they know deep down, like, you're going to pull something out of them that they cannot pull out of themselves. Like, if you make, man, how am I going to be mad? Like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's when my muscles grow. And we all know ladies love, cool jams and big biceps, right? So that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And I really. Great.
I think you cut out. Trax.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was going to say, you cut out for a second, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's because I just put it in park, bro.
No.
So honestly, I feel like, I'm not really concerned whether, we win the play. Like Fred Evans said the other day, former defensive tackle Vikings, he was on our show. He says, people don't really understand and appreciate or value how hard it is to win a NFL game. So it's hard to get, it's easy to get over our skis and hard to forget how hard it is to string some wins together. But I think if we mature as a team and we look like we're playing, we're in every game and everything looks good, but we fall, I say, growth and development is important as a team, front and back, all the way. And, don't follow the standard, but be the standard. If we can do that this year with Ben Johnson, I'm okay with, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think the wins will follow, but I'm trying to do my best, and help me out, guys, but I'm trying to do my best to not, make that the overarching thing about, the W means everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, absolutely, because I feel like this, man. I feel like the way we measure success is, oh, well, we've won X amount of games. I would caution people to that, because you've seen the Nagy era. You come in, you win 14 games or however many games we won that first year with him being head coach, but you hear people saying, "Oh, well, we felt like your defense kept you in most of those games. That was a stellar Bears defense." I don't think people are like, they, what I'm saying, feel as explicit about it or appreciate it as much, that how good that defense actually was. But you see how we regressed to the mean the year after. We were very average.
Yeah.
And a lot of those games that we were winning just by, what I'm saying, the skin of our tails, You know what I'm saying? Because the defense played out of their mind, or we were able to make just that one catch. And I mean, every football game is a battle of inches and what ifs and whatnots and all that. But you see how you can have one fluky year and there be no it be no growth in totality, and then the next year it catch up to you. So I don't want it to be we measure the start of Ben Johnson's era off of, oh, we won X amount of games. How do we look in those games?
Right.
That's to me, those are the big things. Yes, we all want the wins. We expect the Bears to make playoffs and be competitive, but like, being honest, are you really expecting that man to win 10 plus games his first season as a head coach? Because that's an aberration that we had with Nagy. You know what I'm saying? It happened, and then after that, it never happened again.
Well,
So
we talked about it last week, KB. You know, it's not only looking at ourselves internally, but it's looking throughout the division. I think this division has a chance to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest in the whole league. So to be a rookie, first-time head coach coming in, we got to worry about control what we can control. You know what I'm saying? Worry about ourselves more than anybody else. But this is a very difficult division, and more times than not, the most hit bet at the beginning of the year is Bears fans. We just love to go in there and bet the over, no matter what it's at. Even last year, the over under was at 8.5, and Bears fans were pounding the over because we were counting up wins with an easy schedule. We thought we were, but we didn't, and we thought Caleb was going to come in and hit the ground running, which he didn't. But the best laid plans of mice and men, as they say. I think Ben Johnson's going to be a great coach. He's the guy I wanted, but I don't want to be on record saying 10 wins this year or bust. You know, like you said, KB, I want to look within the game and see how we're ascending as a whole, an entire unit. And Trax, you were talking earlier about the depth on this team. We even brought in another kicker to kind of push Cairo Santos. So all three phases of the game are going to be pushed with the depth on this roster. We're not even sure who's going to be left tackle yet. I know who I'm betting on, but
yeah, no, I like that part, right? What you said right there is important because honestly, the thing about it is I feel like that, the whole, like, everybody together collectively, whoever is in your position group, there is a healthy balance there and competitiveness amongst the ranks. Who's starting, and then, your backup, whatever, and not to get comfortable with being a backup, but trying to do your best to be a starter. And hey, you got to keep your head on a swivel because if somebody messes up, if somebody's not paying attention and Ben calls you up, guess what? You better be ready because, back in the day, if somebody gets an injury, okay, well, it's time to put my helmet on. It's time to go. I think it's good to keep guys on deck and be ready and have your head on a swivel because you never know when Ben's going to call you in. And guess what? If you're a receiver and you don't get the ball, but you are being evaluated on a play-by-play, whistle-by-whistle basis. So if you block down the field and you make stuff happen, even though you're not even on the play and you're still actively engaged doing your part, Ben will find a way to get you the damn ball. And I think that's important because you don't know when you're going to be called out to do a play. We just saw a trickery play where they tossed the ball back, little flea flicker, threw the ball, and then, hit it down the field. I mean, it looked a little messy, but to the point of you don't know what you're going to be called to do when and when to do it. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think all that stuff is good because a lot of folks are just getting comfortable. You know what I'm saying, KB? I got my blinders on. All I'm just doing is running my damn race. I'm just a left tackle, just blocking, making sure Caleb's safe, clean on my left side, and I don't have to worry about nothing else. Not so fast. Not on Ben's watch, bro.
Right.
I mean, look at it this way: Tyler Gordon is going to be able to play safety this year and different other positions and stuff. And they're saying the same thing about other safeties and whatnot, and linebackers and defensive linemen. You're going to see a lot of zone blitzes where linebackers will come up to press, and then your ends will go back, into zone protection and what type of things like that. And I think it's going to get creative and really interesting. And that's kind of what I like also, AC, about the people that we got in the building with Dennis Allen. Like, you can really dive deep into some pretty exotic. That's what they said about, remember the GOAT, Tom Brady. Whenever they played against the Saints, bro, Dennis Allen threw all kinds of stuff. He really, his back seven, he disguises it. So you don't know where the hell to throw the ball. And guess what? If you're trying to think long, think wrong, now all of a sudden you just gave the defensive line more time to get there and create a pressure. So you rattle the QB, and now he throws an off-script throw and maybe a pick six or a fumble or just an incompletion, all these kinds of things. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and we're looking for a bounce back season from Tyreek Stevenson and a lot of these DBs that are, unfortunately Jalen Johnson's injured, but with his injury that allows those other guys to get these reps in practice and in the preseason that they so desperately need. And you talked about the trick play. Remember, like the first week of OTAs, they had these offensive linemen going out and catching passes, and we saw Darnell Wright pull in a one-handed catch. So that kind of trickery can definitely be out there. And the little nugget about Roschon Johnson, he was actually a very highly rated quarterback coming out of high school to go to Texas. So who knows what they might be able to draw up with that kind of trickery and that kind of tool set in the backfield. I'm excited to really see how Ben Johnson's going to put all of his tools to work.
Oh, brother, I'm looking for that wildcat. I want to see if we gonna run a little bit of that. Have Roschon Johnson at the point. Oh yeah, brother, go ahead and get downfield. You know what I'm saying? Let me throw this streak real quick, or this corner, or this post. I can do it. Come on for it.
I love it. Hey, did you guys hear that? What do you call it? That Menage or whatever, Monangai.
Monangai.
He got trucked today by Chris Williams. They said the defense is hitting hard, bro. Yeah. He smoked. Here's some other standouts that I read. They said, the highlights for Tuesday was produced mostly by tight end Colston Loveland.
Yeah.
The first draft pick from Michigan. He caught a third down pass from Caleb over the middle, and then he hung on to, despite being hit by safety Kevin Byard. It was an open or not type read, sit down if you need it, if there's space, Loveland said. I'm reading this right here. Caleb found, he did a good job finding me, and we converted, which is always what you're trying to do on third down. Since the outset of camp, Johnson has been impressed not only by Loveland's pass catching ability, but his football instincts. He said he had a particular block the other day where the defensive end looked to spin out of it, and he was able to anticipate that and able to stay on top of it, Johnson said. Those are the things that really stand out by the coaching staff that maybe if you're just a regular bystander, you might not see. And it's really encouraging when you look at a young player like that and the growth that he's going to be able to have the more reps that gets there. So, like, to me, everybody looks at him like as an inline receiver, slot, whatever. But then you hear about his blocking ability where he's hitting up a DN that's getting ready to spin out. And he says, whoa, not so fast. I got you. And now it's like, okay, what do we got here? We can build off of this too. You know what I'm saying? So I like that.
Loveland came from Michigan. All right, man. I've been telling people this, and it is. I'm a Michigan fan. Okay, I've seen these guys play. We were a run first team. That was with JJ McCarthy. That's with Loveland being there. We had Blake Corum. We had my guy who went like in the 6th or 7th round. I'm blanking on names right now because of the heat. But y'all forgive me. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We were a run first team. They were not a drop back and pass heavy squad. We put McCarthy in positions later on to win games with throws, and not many throws, 1 to 2.
Yeah.
He was never asked to carry the offense. Loveland was on those teams blocking.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest thing is when folks sit there and say, "Oh, well, he's just a receiver." No, this man blocked while he was at Michigan,
In the Big Ten.
and he didn't. Right in the Big Ten, he
Yeah.
didn't have to be the best blocker. But he's a willing blocker. Sometimes that's more than half the battle. I'm willing to go out and try. You know what? If you're willing to go out and try, it's like a free throw. You either gonna hit it or you not. You miss the shot you don't take. It's the same way, man. If you're willing to go out and do something and you do it, you're either gonna be good at it. I'm not gonna say good at it. You're either gonna do it or you'll miss.
Yeah.
And he's willing to go do it whether or not he misses or not. To me, like I said, that's more than half the battle to me. And that to me, that's the underappreciated side of Loveland because everybody looked, oh, he's just a big slot. He's gonna do it. No, you can move him in line. We can run a lot of 12 personnel.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to come off the field for real.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents.
I mean, I love that you can speak on what he did at Michigan. I'm mostly SEC, but obviously I saw Michigan that national championship year. But even going back to before that, I listened to CHGO interview his high school coach. This is a dude from Idaho who grew up on a ranch, digging posts and putting in fences in his off season before he went to school and football practice. So he's definitely got the work ethic, and we've heard it from Ben Johnson and company of how much he put in work when he wasn't able to physically do anything. He was putting in work in the classroom. He was like a sponge, just taking in everything that he could, and it's paying dividends as we're seeing early in practice. Now, I'll be excited to see what he does in these joint practices and preseason to see. We just talked about Roshan. Maybe he does a little jump pass or something in the end zone and hits Colston. But the 12 personnel and the ability to use both these tight ends. Ben Johnson talked about what Bill Belichick was able to do at New England, using both his tight ends to mask what he's doing and make same things look different and different things look the same. And he's just got so many tools, so many toys to play with here, and he's got to be excited for that for sure.
And the thing about it is everybody had a first time doing something the first time. So I don't know why the hell everybody's so worried about what a man can do or a man can't do. I mean, look, I didn't know how to drive freaking Navy ships because, that was the first time I ever drove a Navy ship. Yeah. I didn't know how to paint an anchor and scrub a commode. I mean, all these kind of things, Swig One Alpha missile operator. Where the hell did I pick that up at? I didn't want to scrub commodes anymore. So I my why was to quit being, a sloppy sailor and get right, So I dialed it in, man. I had to go. Here's what I had to do. I had to go out up to Combat Information System. Everything was top secret. I got up there after the grind in the Middle East, 150 degrees at night, 100 degrees during the day. Sea snakes all about you in the meanest, over there in Bahrain. I'd go up there while everybody's getting ready to go party, drink beers and all that good stuff. And I said, you know what? Forget this, man. I know it's going to suck for a while, but I'm going to freaking knuckle down and I'm going to learn all about these radars and missiles and stuff and air traffic control, surface traffic control. Otherwise, my life's going to suck, and I ain't got no one to, blame but myself because all the opportunities here. And anybody listening to this right now, I don't care if you're a fry cook at McDonald's and you're listening to me. I don't care if you're freaking a firefighter. I don't care if you're cutting grass. I don't care if you're, an Only fan. Here's the deal. The sky's the limit for you, baby. It doesn't matter if you're a chubby chaser or what. Whatever it is that you're doing in life, you can do something for the first time in the history of ever, and it starts today, man. And it's about what your will is, what your power is, and what is your why. What is your why? Yeah. Because of my family, because I love my children, and because I want to provide for them. That's what my why is. Your why might be something else. You might have a pet. It might be yourself. Whatever it is, I'm telling you right now, these Chicago Bears guys, Colston Loveland, all these guys that AC and KB's talking about, and the 12-man might be the first time, whatever, we need to dumb it down a little bit, like Fred Evans said. Let's take it back to the very beginning of elementary.
Hey man, look, I was gonna say Trex, man. I'm glad you put it that way, man. Because first of all, man, these feet picks ain't gonna sell themselves, brother. I gotta get out here and market myself. Woo, gotta make this extra money, baby. But
Yeah,
it's the
man.
truth, man. Like I said, it's the truth, though, man. Sometimes taking things back to square one,
Yes.
just knocking out the basics, being good at the basic things can make you great later on. And that's
Bro.
the equation of life. And that's just the honest to God truth. You don't have to be the absolute best, but be at everything you do. But be the best at one thing and be the best at that one thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can do those things. And like I said, just doing the basics, man. Just being the best you can at the basics will win you games in the NFL.
You remember
Yeah.
how hard
Go
it
ahead,
was the
AC.
first time you ride a bicycle? You know what I'm saying? How hard it was to ride a bicycle, to tie your shoes. I mean, it was a long time ago, but if you really think back, some of the simplest things in life were the hardest things in life when you first did it. And every time was a first time. It didn't no matter what you did, man. It didn't matter what you did. Pushing a lawnmower. Heck, I was showing my son the other day how to push a lawnmower, and I looked back and I swear to God he thought it was a video game because he was looking. I said, all we got to do is make lines and go straight back and forth, one after the other. And I was a very bad teacher that day because the first time he ever mowed the lawn, 9 years old. So I look back and I'm like, what the heck is going on? He legit thought it was a video game where he saw like clumps of grass. He was just going to the tallest grass and cutting it. And he goes, okay, are we done? I looked at him. I'm like, hold up a second. Let me change this up a little bit. I said, how about you follow your old man? Everywhere I go, you follow behind me and we'll make those lines together. Because
right.
I was behind him and I was to the side of him and he still didn't see it. He still didn't get it. But if you have that right coaching, anything that you do, and I'm telling you right now, fellas, we have installed really good coaching at every level, all the way from Eric Bieniemy, running backs coach, to the offensive line coach in rush hour, to the defensive line coach, to the special teams, and Al Harris. I mean, I feel guilty sometimes forgetting somebody because all these guys are like the freaking Avengers of coaching. It's ridiculous, like how good all this is, man. And I think, like, even some people in the building, AC, even some people, AC, that you thought just fell off and wasn't a good player, how important it is. Remember in the first grade when you had a teacher that really wasn't helping you out and just kept moving along, or whatever grade it was, and then you finally had a good teacher, man. It's just like, man, I knew I could figure this out. It's important to have that coaching. It's important to have that teacher in your life, because if they don't speak your language, it speaks to you. Somebody told me not too long ago there's like 3 different ways, and they're like very big, like technical words on how to teach, right? You can like like hands-on or just words. Some people are good with just words, and someone is good at all 3. It doesn't mean that person's dumb. It just means that you're not speaking their love language. You're not speaking their language and and if you get all those guys in the building to do that, someone is going to show you, maybe even a player, like, but you guys were talking, I think it was you guys or our other crew was talking last week about how Sweat was working with the offense. Montez Sweat working with the offense. And I mean, you've even got player coaches on the field that's helping them out. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah. I feel like it's more like the quarterback room. You got Case Keenum in there who's seen everything and done everything, and he's in there with Caleb and Tyson, who are both really young and still learning things. He's got so much that he can teach them. Obviously, you want to lean on your coaches, and Ben Johnson talks about leaning on his coaching staff with uber experience and knows what's going on. You got former head coaches and coaches who a lot of people thought should have been a head coach in Eric Bieniemy and all this. Such a great coaching staff for him to lean on when he doesn't know what needs to be done. But yeah, I think you said it perfectly, Trax, about you if you've got the right teacher to point you in the right direction. It, it's like Jordan said back in the day, the ceiling is the roof, you know?
Yeah. No, it really is, man. It really is. I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen and know situations where you've been in where, like, you know, you've had a bad example or a good example. And even with myself, you know, helping you guys out, there are times where I'm just frustrated in my day, and I apologize for you guys. You know, I'm not the best example at times, but I do the best I can. And I get it. Like later on, I'm like, dude, I did not do a good job at leading like today. The whole thing with the link or whatever, you know. I didn't even remember if I had AC's freaking email, you know. And then I go look for it. I'm like, oh, there it is, you know. 90% of the time, if you send somebody an email versus sending them just a message or a, you know, quick message on Facebook or a text, if you send that link via email, it usually works, you know. But it's so much easier just to send a text or, you know, just copy paste whatever type, you know. Email takes a little bit more, but this is just an example. There's so many different examples that you can use, you know, especially as a father now, things like that. But you know, getting back to football and Chicago Bears, man, I'm excited about it. I can't wait. All these guys are really starting to look good and all that. And listen, at least we have a product this year, gentlemen. And it's not just one or two guys that we're looking at and we're like, oh, well, I can't wait till he takes the field. Or if that guy's gone, then what, you know, what kind of product am I looking at? I really think we're going to watch some really good games this year, fellas. I really do. And the thing about it is, though, is we're not going to see plays like when we had Owen Krutz on the show. He was like, don't just run a play just to run a play. Shotgun draw up the middle. Yeah, it's a run play, but why do it? It never worked. Why do it, you know? So I think those are the things that we're going to look at this year, AC, that when we look at them, we're going to be like, okay, we're not just making dumb decisions just to make a football play on the field. Like, things are going to have a reason behind it with Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen and stuff. And I think that's the competency as and I'll put you guys and all Bears fans against all 31 other teams. I think we've got the smartest fan base, you know, and we've had to be because of the hard times and everything. And, you know, you really listen, you want to learn something, talk to somebody that came from nothing, that was poor and came up. You want to talk to somebody that had riches from day one, you ain't going to learn nothing because all he ever knew was rich. But you find a grinder, a guy that had two freaking pennies to rub together, right? And took dry milk. My mom used to take milk and make something happen to where it actually tasted decent. At least she freaking fooled us into. You know, we had government cheese at one point. I mean, it was ridiculous, bro. We had some hard times, but you find somebody like that that's a grinder, you're going to learn something from that guy. I guarantee you that for sure, you know?
Absolutely. Like I said, because going off of what you're talking about, man, folks that come up from those nothing, you either have you come to that fork in the road eventually. And that fork is either I'm gonna go left and I'm gonna make something better than what I had, or I'll continue to live the same type of way and just not be anything. And a lot of those people, they don't want to be in the same position that they were in as a child. And you see it as it carry on into their adult life when they say, "Okay, my children never experienced X, Y, and Z because I did." You know what I'm saying? So you get like-minded individuals around each other, you usually have success. And I honestly feel like that's what we're starting to get now.
Yeah, I think a lot of Bears fans can relate to that, Trax. And you know, I myself, I grew up in public housing, and we had food stamps growing up. So, you know, everything I've built, I understand exactly where you're coming from. And I think a lot of Bears fans that have been through the Trubisky era, even the Jay Cutler era, where we thought we were delivered. We've been through it, man. And I know a lot of people go back further than that, but that's around my era, is when we right around Rex Grossman and Jay Cutler era. But yeah,
Bro, remember when we had Fox? I thought because his daddy was a Navy
Yeah,
he was going to bring that mentality, and it's far from it. The apple fell far from that tree for sure, man. Just because your daddy's don't mean you're going to. Holy cow, that's a freaking mistake. I was so excited about that guy. Listen, if I've been wrong at so many coaches, it's been and players, it's been ridiculous, you know. But I
yeah.
got
I feel like with Fox,
yeah,
man, he knew he was already gonna be stepping out the door before he took the job, and it was just like,
yeah.
all right, man, I can make a couple dollars off of this and sail into the sunset. I really feel like that with John
yeah,
Fox.
Yeah. You know what? You make sense about it, and you're right because he felt like he's already done his due diligence, and if something happened, great. If not, who cares, right?
Absolutely.
So we got over 707 in the building. I want to go ahead and reiterate yesterday.
nice.
Yesterday, we were congratulating Cheryl Childers. She is a longtime founder of Chicago Sports Podcast. She's one of the grinders, day one grinders. We used to do dinners where she would say, "What's for dinner?" and she'd tell us what she had for dinner, and then everybody would comment and post what they had for dinner, birthdays and all that. Man, I'll tell you what. I hope I grind as hard as she does when when I get to be her age. It's ridiculous what she does. And then the birthday, she knows everybody. Hey, listen, guys, there's like over 4,000 something. There's like 10,000, well over 10,000, more in the upwards of 20,000 across all of our platforms. But I'm saying Facebook specifically, we've got two groups. We got the A group and the B group. She covers all those. She knows everybody's damn birthday. She does the Bears' birthdays, the Cubs, the Sox, the Bulls, the Blackhawks. I don't know how she does it, man. But anyways, she has been faithful, tried and through, and she was really grinding last month. And she was the winner of the jersey giveaway. So now this coming month, yeah,
Nice.
this coming month in August, we're going to do another jersey giveaway. And that'll be at the end of August. So we're excited about it. And every month we're going to be doing. Now, if we do double jerseys or hats or anything else, because there's some stuff coming up down the way, I don't want to jinx us, so I'm not going to make an announcement yet, guys. But some really good things are coming for you guys, especially you two guys and other guys that are in our group. But at any rate, what I'm trying to get at is we got some bear shows, live bear shows. You guys will be on together. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be fun. Not just bear shows, but all Monday night and Thursday night shows will be watch parties. And what I like about you guys is you guys got a really good high IQ and acumen. So some people just metabolize bears, right, in NFC North. You're going to be able to be, to that part. We'll start out. This is what it'll be, guys. And we could work together. It doesn't have to be like this. We could do it, but this is my early vision. Because last year we did a little bit of it. This year we're going to do all season. So what I like to do is start out Bears news, right? The highs, the lows, injuries, whatever has happened. I want to start talking Bears, 6:30 to 7, right? Or no, 6 to 6:30. And then from 6:30 to 7 pregame show for the two teams that are playing. And then we're going to cover play-by-play, and we're going to go first quarter, second quarter, halftime. If somebody wants to stay, do the full game, one or two guys, whatever. Close it up, halftime, whatever. How you doing? Keep it moving. It just, stick with that vibe, how everybody's time is going. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it takes us. Maybe it's a lights-out show where we've got two really great teams facing off, and we want to right the ship, do the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? That'll
Yeah.
be for Monday nights and Thursday nights. We're going to have trivia, all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm really excited for you guys to be a part of that. If you got any other type of ideas, please shoot them my way. Like I said, I'm an open door, so let me know if you got any immediate ideas. if you need me to get somebody from that team, and maybe I forgot, there's somebody that we've had on before, you know, that we could get on for that show to be a celebrity or whatever, we could do that also, you know. Also, I want to show you guys, cross-train you guys on how to use the phone system so we could take live calls during these shows, you know.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
If you guys would like to do that. That's all powered through Google Calls, you know. Yeah. So if you guys got any ideas or whatever, but that's how it's going to go for Monday and Thursdays. Haven't really quite thought about Thursdays, or not Thursdays, Sundays. That's pretty much just Bear Sunday. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys got anything you want to add?
I think it sounds like you got a pretty good plan, Trax. I mean, doing the watch parties and getting involved with the chat. You talked about Cheryl. She's in the chat right now. Cubs and Brewers tied at 0 after 1.
Hey, man, shout out to
From
Cheryl,
last night.
man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Cheryl. You even when I don't want to see the Sox losing, man, I appreciate the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Definitely appreciate the work, because she puts in the work. We appreciate you, Cheryl.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, I appreciate the work. I don't say it enough, guys. And where our life's so busy, and I should say it more, and I'll say it now. I appreciate your guys' work. You guys have came in early. Haven't been here that long, although it's felt like a long time and hasn't been here that long. You guys haven't been here that long, and you guys have made an early impact on Chicago Sports Podcast, man. And I think in another year or two, I might be stepping away. I'll be like a consultant or whatever, but I'll have somebody to run the shows, and then somebody to run, like the posts and things like that, the reels. Because listen, if I put what I do onto to one person, that would be an injustice. That's not right. No, not one person should ever have to handle all this at once. It's crazy, dude. So
that's a lot.
I got another job opportunity, and one thing I learned when I went down to Texas that they taught us, and I met with Mike Singletary, and he pretty much said the same thing when he met me and my family at Baylor University. He said, always make the main your main. So your main is your family, right? And then after that, your main is how you provide. So that's your job, your 9-to-5 job, whatever. And now I've got a secondary job, so something's got to give. But I want to keep building this, this Chicago Sports Podcast. It's for all of us. It's for us. I'll always be there, like a consultant type thing. Live shows, I'll have to turn that over to somebody. They can buy my equipment and the LLC and all that kind of stuff. We'll work it out, whatever. But as far as like the actual online stuff and whatever, that'll all be, I'm not just gonna just turn the lights off and walk away. This thing's gonna be here forever, man. So 2 years in the making, and look, we're huge. And all of my contacts, I'm gonna let all the Bears players know, Singletary, all them guys. Even non-Bears players, NFL, Major League, Sox players, Cubs, Bulls, all that, I'll turn over the numbers and they'll just deal with you guys exclusively. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep Chicago Sports Podcast going. All the, Canton, Ohio trips, like this year, we're going Thursday. We're going to Jared Allen's party, his enshrinement party. And that sounds like Gates is in the mix too. We'll be going to Gates and Sharp's party, so there's 3 out of 4. So I'm really excited, man. We're going to be boots on the ground, taking pictures, interviews, all that kind of stuff. And right now we got 5 guys going. So I'd like to keep a placeholder on that. There are networks that have less guys going than we got going, bro.
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
The CCO, second in command, said, how did you get 5 guys to go? I said, you're the boss. You tell me how that happened. He goes, I still don't know how you did that. And he goes, and I'm pretty sharp with math and everything, and I've been doing this for a few decades now. How did you manage to squeeze 5 guys in your podcast? I'm like, I don't know, man. But I said, let's set the standard. Let's make sure this happens next year. And he goes, I guess we are.
There you go, man.
If you guys have time and you guys got vacation, man, I encourage you to get early on that list because it'll change your life. I don't know. Have you guys ever been to Canton, Ohio before?
I
No, it's
haven't been
definitely on the
personally.
bucket list.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's make it happen on your bucket list, and let's make sure you guys get full credentials. You can have all access passes to the whole weekend. So, I mean that in itself is amazing. And not only, let me just share something with you guys. You guys realize it's not just the 4 people that are going. It's all the Golden Jackets that show up, and they all try. All 370 will be like over 380 of them now. It was 376 when Mongo went last year, right, when I went for my first time. But what I'm trying to get at is that all those guys show up, bro, all of them in their Golden Jackets, man. And you can go shake hands, pictures, go up, interview them, all that stuff. You know, they got media day, and then you can just go up on the side and just do a quick little 30-second reel or just have a conversation with them. You know what I mean? It's life changing. And where they're at, the Golden Jackets that have been there for a long, long time, they've changed throughout the years. Early in their career, they said no. You know, they're like, I'm not really going to make it this year. But as, you know, it sucks. And we just saw a couple, you know, people, more than a couple celebrities pass over the last month, right?
Yeah.
They start to realize those connections, those relationships, those friendships, they might not see them again. So they make sure that they make it. So I encourage you guys to go, man. I think it'll be a lot of fun for you guys. I know you guys will, you know, represent Chicago sports podcast really well. And Bart, Bar Room too, that you guys cover that, you know. Obviously you can help those folks out. You know, just make sure your main's the main, CSP, baby. So yeah, man. So yeah, I hope you guys can make some of this stuff, man, because like I said, we were the first podcast to ever be able to make it to Chicago Bears, to be there for press. I was there. Chicago Sports Podcast was there for the locker room, press conference, you know, on the field, all that stuff. Never been happened before. Same with, you know, what do you call it? Chicago.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of you out there.
For the NASCAR, you saw the NASCAR in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that, and then also the enshrine for the Hall of Fame. We were the first podcast for that too. Next year, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of in Lake Michigan, they've got the boat races, and ESPN's there for that too, for the boat races. Right on.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'd like to get you guys, because I know that's a little closer for you guys. I think that'd be cool for you guys to pull up and do that. That'd be special, you know.
Okay.
Anything else you guys can think of, I'd like to try to get those next 2 years, try to get our foot in the door, so you guys can keep going back year after year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna say, man, as the time goes on, brother, I'm sure we gonna have a lot more questions for you. You definitely will.
And that's what I said. I'll always be a consultant, because I can do stuff like that. It's just the day to day. If you got 2 jobs and a family, you guys know what I'm saying. And
Absolutely.
you guys know how to handle this. If it gets to be too much, try to find somebody else to help fill in those days, like I did. You know, I brought you guys along, and I'm like, can you guys cover 1 day a week for us? You know, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I like what KB did the other day. I can't make it this day, or AC. You know, you guys have done the same thing. As long as we give each other some notice, you know. Now, I will tell you this. Right hand to God, I had no idea that when I went to Texas, what I was signing up for. I was on a ranch with freaking Texas Longhorns. I mean, this is how far out in the woods I was, man. It was crazy. I was on a ranch. It was called Knoxville Ranch, and they had emus there, which they're very aggressive. Stay away from emus, man. They're crazy. And zebra too. Zebra will try to kick you off if you get too close to the backside. They will kick the crap out of you, man. So stay away from those guys. They had a wild boar there, big ass llama, all kinds of animals, like hundreds of freaking deer and all kinds of stuff, man. They had like one with big buck. They had a buck that's probably as wide as a Texas Longhorn. You guys know Texas Longhorn's got like 10 foot side to side,
Yeah.
freaking horn, man. And I'm not really like, I used to live in Yosemite in California, but now I like live in it. You know what I'm saying? So this was all like new to me. So I go to use my phone and I got like half a bar. So I couldn't even get the show together for y'all on Monday, and I apologize for that. I had no idea, you know, what was coming on. So, but anyways, like I said, man, I appreciate y'all for all that you guys do, man, for sure.
Thanks. I don't know if KB lost connection there or just dropped out, or I'm not sure what happened, or maybe it's me.
I'm not sure, but let's go close up, man. I know it's been a long time, but I've been on with you guys. So, do you have anything that you'd like to close with, AC?
Shout out again to Cheryl. She's giving me Cubs updates. That's what I'm about to go do, is watch these Cubbies hopefully take one from the Brewers. We lost last night, which was tough. And I mean, you talk about people passing away.
All right, well, let's go ahead and close it up. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Please leave a 5-star review. You all know what to do. I appreciate you guys. Have yourself a good night. And yeah, Chi-Town up, bear down.
Bear down.